Welcome back to the channel, my fellow Days of Our Lives addicts. I cannot even begin to tell you how emotionally exhausted I am by this current Abe, Paulina, and Lexie love triangle. We are heading into the Friday, June 18th episode, and my heart is already breaking into a million little pieces. The spoilers for this episode are completely devastating. We are staring down the barrel of Abe and Paulina's wedding anniversary, and the timing literally could not be worse. As we know, Paulina has made the ultimate gut-wrenching decision to completely step aside. She essentially made the choice for Abe, declaring that their marriage is over so that he can go back to his resurrected true love, Lexie, and rebuild his family with Theo. Let's be real for a second. I know a lot of fans out there have very mixed feelings about Paulina Price. She can be loud, she can be overbearing, and she has definitely made some massive mistakes since she first arrived in Salem. But I actually think this move proves exactly why she is a top-tier character. This is the most selfless, profoundly heartbreaking thing she has ever done. She loves Abe Carver so much that she is willing to completely destroy her own happiness just so he can have his miracle back. Can you imagine the sheer agony of packing your bags and walking away from the love of your life because his dead wife suddenly walked through the door? It is giving me major flashbacks to the classic soap storylines of the 90s, like when Marlena had to step aside for John and Isabella. Paulina is falling on her sword, and I am passionately defending her right now. She deserves so much better than this ghost story she is trapped in. But here is the kicker, and this is where the psychology of Abe Carver becomes so incredibly fascinating. Abe is walking around Salem desperately trying to convince himself that he is happy. He has his beloved Lexie back. His family with Theo is whole again. This is everything he grieved over for years, right? But I think Abe is lying to himself. You cannot just erase the last few years of your life. You cannot just turn off the deep, mature, stabilizing love he built with Paulina. James Reynolds is acting his absolute heart out right now, showing us a man who is completely torn apart by guilt and conflicting loyalties. He is trying to force himself back into a mold from a decade ago. But the Abe of 2026 is not the same Abe who lost Lexie. And just when we thought this situation couldn't get any more complicated, the spoilers drop an absolute bombshell on us. For weeks, we have been terrified that Lexie's return from the dead was going to be short-lived. We all know the Demera resurrection drugs are notoriously unstable. But now, Doctor, Wilhelm Rolf has marched into E.J. Demera's office with what he claims is the holy grail of mad science. Rolf tells E.J. that he has officially fixed the fatal flaw in the Versavix formula. He has cooked up a brand new super serum too that supposedly stops the resurrected from dying again. E.J. is absolutely thrilled, thinking he has just played God and won. According to E.J. and Rolf, Lexie and Abe are going to be together for the long haul. Amazing, right? A true daytime soap miracle. But wait, hold your horses, because we know the dark, twisted truth that E.J. is completely blind to. A lot of fans think Lexie is cured, but I actually think this is the most tragic misdirection the writers have ever pulled. Based on the internal logic of this show and the secret timeline we've been tracking, Rolf's hope is completely false. The super serum too is a total bust. Lexie is already secretly taking the new drug, but she is actively deteriorating. She is experiencing terrifying, debilitating neurological symptoms, and she knows her prognosis is terminal. That's crazy. Can you even fathom the psychological torture Lexie is going through right now? She is hiding her failing health from Abe and Theo because she cannot bear to watch them grieve her all over again. She is smiling through the pain, playing the role of the happy, returned wife, while secretly knowing her days are numbered. And this leads to an absolutely explosive confrontation between Lexie and EJ. Lexie is going to corner EJ and ruthlessly rip into him. And honestly, I am cheering for her. I hate how arrogant EJ has become. He is turning exactly into his father, Stefano Di Mera. EJ brought Lexie back purely to prove he could, treating human lives like pieces on a chessboard. Lexie is going to scream at him for playing God, blaming him for forcing her to face her own death twice, and forcing her family to endure the trauma of losing her all over again. It is going to be an Emmy-worthy performance, mark my words. And all of this secret tragedy comes to a boiling point on Friday, June 18th. It is Juneteenth in Salem. The town is celebrating, and Abe is out with Lexie, trying to force this narrative of a happy family reunion. He keeps telling himself he is exactly where he belongs. But then, in the middle of the festival, the universe throws a massive wrench into his denial. He bumps into Paulina on their wedding anniversary. Oh my God. The tension in this scene is going to be thick enough to cut with a knife. Picture it, Abe locking eyes with the woman who just sacrificed everything for him. The unspoken words, the lingering glances, the sheer crushing weight of the love they still share but aren't allowed to act on. And you won't believe what happens next. Lexie is standing right there. Lexie is a very smart, intuitive woman. The promo reveals that Lexie looks at the two of them, puts the pieces together, and suddenly realizes the significance of the day. She literally gasps and asks Abe, "Is this your anniversary?" This is the exact moment everything shifts. I predict that this realization is going to completely change Lexie's trajectory. When Lexie sees the raw, unresolved love between Abe and Paulina, she is going to realize that Abe's heart has moved on. And combined with the terrifying secret that she is actively dying from the failing serum, Lexie is going to make a massive, heartbreaking pivot. I strongly believe that Lexie will ultimately use her remaining time to push Abe back into Paulina's arms. She won't want Abe to spend her final days feeling guilty or trapped. She is going to want him to be happy after she is gone for good. This storyline is a masterclass in soap opera tragedy. It perfectly highlights the lore of the show, connecting the dark, manipulative history of the Di Mera family's science experiments with the pure, enduring love of the Carver family. It breaks my heart to think about Theo, who is currently stepping up at Di Mera Enterprises, blissfully unaware that he is about to lose his mother all over again. The fallout of EJ's arrogance is going to destroy so many lives. EJ's God complex is going to cost him dearly, and I wouldn't be surprised if Abe absolutely destroys EJ once the truth comes out. I am so invested in this. I think the writers are setting us up for the most devastating summer we have seen in years. The inevitable heartbreak when Abe and Theo find out Lexie is dying, the explosive rage directed at EJ and Rolf, and the eventual tear-soaked reunion of Abe and Paulina. It is all going to be legendary television. What do you guys think? Do you think Paulina was right to step aside, or should she have fought for her man? And how do you think EJ is going to pay for this massive, tragic mistake? Let me know your fiercest opinions and craziest theories down in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and I love debating with you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from Salem. Until next time, stay dramatic.